essentially we're looking at Arsenal against Manchester City at the moment. We're not virtually considering Liverpool in the race right now. But Nigel, you've been there, you've done that. At the end, the final 2-3 games, what is the whispering in the dressing room? And how do you try to control the emotions? Because for Arsenal, it could be their first Premier League title in close to 20 years.
Well, I think Arsenal have learned a lot from last season where they were in control of the title for a long, long period, but they became destabilised really it started with, if you like, the Liverpool draw, then the West Ham draw. Then they sort of lost a bit of confidence and then Man City gained that confidence. This season, it's a slight reversal because Manchester City are still the favourites. With 3 games to go for Arsenal, they know what they have to do. They've got to win those 3 games and hope that Manchester City will drop points along the way. It's quite simple. So Arsenal, they play first. The first thing they have to do is make sure they win the game that's shortly to kick off. If they don't do that, everything becomes irrelevant what Manchester City do. So you're just at this stage trying to add a little bit of pressure onto the opposition. And as you're right, Liverpool have dropped away. Liverpool won't be able to come back and overtake both of them. So it's now down to the 2 teams. And Arsenal now have to just exert that little bit more pressure onto Manchester City, who play later on.
Is the last 2-3 weeks, Tony, perhaps what we see in terms of a nod to the difference that this Arsenal side are this season? I mean, against Spurs and against Chelsea, 2 very different manner of victories. But even Bukayo Saka admitted if this was last season, they wouldn't have been able to hold on to those 3 points against Spurs. They are such a different side this time round.
Yeah, they've had the experience, like Nigel says, of last year, and you know that experience of, you know, put them in a position where they are now. I also think Havertz and a few of the others, Rice, that they've brought in have made a real good difference. You know, their clean sheet record is fantastic, or is it over 20 games clean sheets? And for an Arsenal team that's, you know, that average over 2 goals a game, when you've got a back 4 or 6 players in the team that can defend as well as they can, then you've always got a chance in all the games. You know, the Premiership, it's so different to any other league in world football because it throws up so many different systems that teams use and strengths that you have to be adaptable. And Arsenal have got all the tools this year. You know, have a look at Saliba, Gabriel, you know, Partey and Rice, 4 players there. Very, very strong, you know, in the middle of the pitch. Ray has done well in goal. And then they've got that flair of Saka. Trossard's done brilliant. And like I say, Havertz, for me, has been a revelation. He was really poor at Chelsea. He's come to Arsenal. And the last couple of months, he's really, really flourished. They look a real team,